USF actually making a little national headlines this week, Don, as they fire their coach, Jeff Scott, who, as we talked about, a nice guy, but assistant at Clemson, very successful there, came to the USF 3 years ago and just got nothing going, only won 4 games, and mostly all those 4 games were their patsy games, so he didn't win any against top college schools, and he was given the game after Temple last week, which was a brutal loss. Your former school, Don, he's out.
Yeah, that was really the killer when he lost to Temple by they scored like 58 points, I think, or 57 points.
Yeah.
And he hardly got on the bus to get to the plane to come back to.
I heard his post game, and you could just hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
He knew that was it.
He knew he was gone. But the big thing will be, who can they hire? Who can recruit?
That's the big story. Now, you hear names like John Gruden,
yeah.
Unbelievably. You also hear Scott Frost, who really fell apart in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Names like that are coming up. Some colleges like the guy, I think, at Florida A&M. Willie Taggart's name comes up. They won't bring Willie back, but a lot of names.
How realistic can you be thinking that they're going to become a major factor in football when you can't recruit, you don't have a stadium, you don't have a real basis?
The fan base is not there.
No, the fan base is not there. So that's going to be very, very difficult for anybody that comes in. And there was a lot of discussion about how deeply should they go on the football, maybe drop down and play Division I or something like that, where it's a lot less expensive. But we'll see what they decide to do.
Of course, the league they're in, the American Athletic Conference, loses Houston, UCF,
yes.
and a couple other schools, and that league is bringing in like Rice, FAU. So it really goes back to the old Conference USA, that type of it's a very weak conference going into next year. USF could, win 6 or 7 next year and make a bowl, but it's a weak conference.
And not only that, trying to draw fans. You can't draw fans if you don't have a winning program.
No.
And if you don't play legitimate schools.
They're not going to. They play Alabama next year. That's the only big school they play next year.
Alabama,
and that's a loss. We know that.
If they make that game.
Yeah. So it's a tough situation. Although, when you look at the upside, they play in Tampa, which is a major market, top 15, top 20 market.
Right.
They play in an NFL stadium now. Can't play any place better than that. And but they just can't recruit.
It's not an on-campus. You got to really have them.
Well, that's another thing. They're trying to raise money for that. You can't raise money when people don't come out the stadium.
I don't see. And Temple's in the same city. We talked about it last week.
There were about 1,000 people there last week, literally.
Temple's in the same situation. They can't draw people. They're playing in a pro football stadium, not on campus. And it just doesn't work.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on. The USF plays the Mustangs. SMU is they had a wild game last week. They put up 77
they scored
against
points.
Houston. 77-66, I believe, was the score in that game. Unbelievable. But that'll be noon. We'll be up there. We'll talk about that next time. Deion Sanders is another name people would like to have come in. I think it'd be a lot of fun to have him come in from Jackson State. He wants to move up.
Prime time.
But he would be a guy that could do it, but I don't think they'd go after him.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.